So I'm in the Asmodee booth, which I'm totally geeking out about because they make some of my favorite games. Recently I got to play Five Tribes, Ticket to Ride, obviously it's just like one of the gateway games, but we also are going to get to check out Deus, which just came out, and this perfume, which I didn't know existed until just now, and now I want it. So hang on, we'll check it out.
I'll show you a perfume if you want.
Yeah,
that's the newest one from Queen Games. It is yet to be released, so there's no release date for it yet.
Which makes me sad because I immediately want it.
Exactly, right? And it looks good. And
it looks
I
gorgeous.
just played it for the first time 15 minutes ago, so it's pretty fresh in my mind.
Okay, great.
What you have to do, you basically are a perfume seller in the antiquities. So you have to gather raw components. These are lavender, roses fragments, lime fragments. The blue one, I don't remember what it is, and the black one is vanilla. Yeah, I think it's hibiscus, maybe?
I think, yeah, hibiscus.
Hibiscus,
right.
Okay. So what you do, everybody starts with the water. Water lets you re-roll the dices.
Okay.
On the dices, you got two faces. You got the fly faces, and you got the perfume faces. So every time you're gonna try to take your raw component and transform them into components you can use to create perfume, you'll keep those bottles. So how does it work is that we each go by turn. Let's say you were the first player. Since we're all at 0 players, you're going to be the first to choose on which order you want to go.
Okay.
Well, let's say we're playing 3 players, because it's set up for 3 players. You choose if you want to go first, second, or third. If you go first, you get to pick 3 dice or water. So it's any combination of that. You can take 3 water, 3 of the same, or 3 different. If you go second, it's 4. If you go third, it's 6.
So by going sooner, you have more choices, but you don't get as many dice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because with the dices, you'll be aiming to build your perfume.
Sure.
So in the perfume building section, there is 3 sections. There's the top section of the bottle, there's the middle section, and there's the bottom section. So let's say I go first and you go second, just for the sake of the example. So as first, I'll be the yellow player. I have 3 dice, so I have to basically take the higher chance for me to buy one of those. So this is the simpler one, it gives only 1 victory point, and the harder it gets, the more you get rewarded for. So this is a component that you'll be including in your perfume bottle. Once your perfume bottle is completed, so let's say I rolled 1 red dice and 2 black and I got lucky, I got no flies, so I get to keep those 2. I get 3 points right away.
Okay.
Which I put there. And then on the other sides, there's part of a bottle that we can see over there.
Yep.
So you're gonna try to build either a small bottle that has the top and the bottom part, or a big bottle that requires the top, middle, and bottom.
Okay, cool.
So if you manage to do your bottle, your full bottle, you get the same amount of these bottle pieces as the part you had. So if you have a small bottle, you receive 2, but it's like the stock inventory, so you can sell it twice.
Okay.
If you get a big bottle, you get to sell it 3 times. Those are the bottlers. So they have special needs. This one will only buy a perfume that includes at least 2 vanilla fragrance. This one will buy lavender fragrance, and so on. So right now, if I had, let's say, just for a second example, this would be my perfume bottle. It would give me 3 stock inventory I put there, and at the end of the round, and the turn order, we get to sell to those guys. Only once, because when they're satisfied, they go away.
Sure.
So I have 1 rose fragrance, 2 vanilla fragrance, 1 lime, and 1 lavender. So since I'm the first, I could sell to him once. That would give me 8 points. Then I could sell to him, because I got enough inventory again. And I could sell to him because I have the lavender. So since I got first, this is why I get less big. Because now you can only sell to 1 as a second player.
I see.
I got all
so this
the good
doesn't
stuff.
refill immediately.
It refills after. At the beginning of next turn, we'll get new ones.
I see.
Those tiles are named A and then B. There's only 6 of the B. And 1 of those 6 will be the end of the game. It's
but
randomized.
You don't know where it is
exactly. So you know
B.
it's in the last 6 turn, but you don't know which one.
Cool.
So you'll play until you reach. There's an X tile somewhere. This one. This says the game ends right now. There's no additional turn, so everybody keeps. Whoever has the most points wins the game.
Okay.
So this is how you go. We can actually play it out if you want to see how it goes, but this is how it works.
No, I think I have a great handle on it. It looks gorgeous.
I like it. I played 3 rounds.
It's so cool.
And it's very cool. The only thing I would like to add more is that he actually scents of perfume.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
There's a scratch and sniff under there.
Well,
so that's perfume.
And you said no release date yet because
no release date yet.
So I'll just take this one then. We can just
yeah,
you can just throw this in a box for me. Cool.
So that's perfume.
Great.
Cult Express, it just came out like a month and a half ago, something like that. Super recent. Yeah, this is solely for a purpose.
That's so great.
Yeah. Some of the editions also come with like a little sheet that acts as a playmat. That's basically like a desert cowboy decor. This is a programmation game. So that means you choose a character, they each have their special effects, and you'll receive a deck of cards. And this deck of cards, you have 6 cards that represent the bullet cards. They'll be used when you shoot, you get rid of 1 bullet and you give it to your opponents. And at the beginning of each round, you will draw 6 cards. If you do draw one of these, it's an option less for you. So it's a card that does nothing. So the more you get shot, the more your actions lose values. Then you have 5 different action cards that are 2 times each. So you got move from vertically, so you could grab on the roof or go under. You could punch someone that's on your same floor as you, meaning that if you punch someone, you get to choose one of their loot. Each loot has different value under it. Some are randomized, some are fixed, so the bags are randomized and the other ones, the gems, are always 500. And the goal of the game is to be the richest bandit when the train arrives at the station. So everybody started with a random bag. And if you punch somebody, you say, okay, discard that bag. And he'll drop it, since he's with the gray one, he'll drop it to his feet. And then later on, you can play the grab loot card, and it lets you grab any loot of your choice on the space you are.
Okay.
So you might be over. If you're over, you can't pick under, and so on. After that, there's the marshal card, which is the yellow guy over here, the conductor. Once you play that, you can either move it backward or forward. If that guy meets a bandit, he shoots him with a neutral bullet cards, which are those ones. And this goes into the drawing deck of the character. So if you draw it, same fashion as being shot,
it's just less,
you lose an action.
Less action.
Exactly.
Less options.
And it also sends the bandit on the roof because the bandit has to flee from the marshal. After that, you got the shoot action, which is what I explained before. Anybody in your line of sight, you can shoot at. So this guy could shoot the red one, but not the black one because he's obstructed by his view. That's it for the action. So everybody plays an action depending on this fashion. Those are the round cards. They structure how many cards and in which fashion you need to play them. So let's say we're playing only you and me. First one is a face-up card we each play. So I would go, I want to move, and then you go, okay, I want to shoot. And then we go to the second square, which is a tunnel card. So this represents that the train is going into a dark tunnel, so the card we'll play will be face down instead. So
clever.
Yeah, exactly. The point of the game is to remember the order of the things, because you're only allowed to see the first one on the stack. So we go on, play, then we get to the third one, which is another visible one, and then another visible one, but we switch the order. So there's a lot of variance in that. Once the deck of cards is all played, we switch it, and resolve each action in the order it was played. So it's a programmation game in the order that you have to remember what's going on. Like if I'm trying to punch you because you got that $1,000 loot, are you gonna be at the same space as you? I got to remember what you played. Like those tunnel cards really mess things up.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's pretty straightforward, but it's really a lot of fun. Each character has different abilities. So the green one, when she punches, she takes the treasure right away. She's a pickpocket. The blue one gets to draw 7 cards instead of 6. This one lets you play a face-down card once per turn, even if it's not a tunnel. And this one lets you, when you shoot, the guy goes back, so then you can mess the programmation a bit because their movement are changed. This one lets you shoot through the roof instead of just vertically. And this one is the seductive bell. So if she's on the same spot as another one, and somebody's trying to punch you, well, he's gonna have to punch the other guy in the same spot.
Sure. Very, very cool. I mean,
it's a lot of fun.
The 3D models are really neat, but what's cool are the variable player powers, and the whole idea of the programmatic action is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. So, like, depending on the number of players, you pick the same amount of wagons. So if we were playing 3-player games, we'd cut the train up to there, and so on up to 6 players.
Very cool. And this is out now.
It is out now. It came out 2 months ago, I think.
Awesome.
It sells for $45, I think.
I've seen games that give you less for a lot more. So
yes, so did I. Cool. It requires a lot of assembly first, though.
Yeah, well,
so you get a little bit of Lego for it.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so Deus
from Pearl Games. Well, Pearl Games is part of the Asmodee group. So you can see there's a lot of people involved.
Family. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So Deus, it came out this month, like pretty recently, so it is available, or it should be in 2 weeks, depending on your location.
Yeah, it is. I watched someone buy the last copy of this at a store yesterday. I was so annoyed. Anyway.
You go and wait for him at the end of the store.
Yeah.
So this has high replay value to this game.
Okay.
Because it's a modular board.
Okay.
So basically every game the playing field will be different. So depending on the number of players, I think with 4 it's 6 of those tiles, and you put it in any fashions you want. But you have to avoid the 2 gray spaces are next to each other. Okay. Because that's how you'll win the game.
I see.
The goal of the game, there are 2 ways to win this game. Obviously it's an European game, so whoever has the most victory point will win this game. But the first way you go around and collecting those points is to surround those gray area with buildings that you construct.
Okay.
Once those great area that are Barbarian Village are surrounded, whoever has built the most military buildings around it gets to take the point out of the field. The points varies from 3 to 6 depending on the number of adjacent tiles that there are. Okay. The other way to win this game is to go and build the purple cards. Those are the temple cards. The temple cards, once there's 4 built, the game ends right away. So the first one to build a 4th temple forces the end of the game. So if you see you're already ahead in point, you could streamline your strategy to end the game with a temple. So how you will go around and build things? You start with an end size of 5, and you can do 2 things with those cards. So on each of your turn, you get 2 options. Either
every player gets a player board.
Yeah, everybody gets a player board. It's like unfolds in 2, and it's a reminder of what each columns do.
Cool.
So you get 6 types of different building in this game. There are the temples, that gives you more victory points depending on the territories you get, and eventually ends the game.
Right.
You got military buildings. Those ones are used to gain the
capture
points.
The barbarian.
Exactly. Right. And some have special ability that lets you steal money from other players, steal resource. You got civic buildings. Those gives you straight up victory points as you build them, so you could build more. And the same fashion as the temple, but the temple will require you to have a minimum amount of 4 naval space. As for the civil building, straight up victory. You just like in 7 Wonders.
Yep, 7 Wonders, exactly.
Exactly. The yellow one is for increasing your end size. The more you build it, the more you get to
better resources.
Exactly. So your end size changes from 5 to up to 10. And then you get production buildings, which obviously gives you more resource because you need those resources to pay for the cars over there. So that means 3 gold and a piece of wood, and then you get to build it. And then there's the naval one, which are like the merchants. Those will bring money to your empire. The thing that is really cool about this is that, let's say you choose to build a building, you take the card, put it in front of the row, take the small building and put it. Once you put the card, you activate the special effect of the card you just played, but also triggers everything in the column. So the more you specialize, the more you get value.
The more powerful that column becomes for you.
And there's card in the yellow one that says trigger anyone, so you could build a huge yellow one and trigger everything you want. So you can create combos. That's the fun part about this.
How does it the scaling from a different number of players? It just matters how big the board is. Everything else stays
but
pretty much the same.
But it's a maximum of 4 though for the moment.
Okay. So
probably go bigger if with any further expansion.
Sure.
For now it's 4.
Sure.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So the second thing you can do, except building, is that you can make an offering to the different gods. Every row has a special ability when you discard to it. So you have to manage, do I want to build and have less card to make an offering? Because you're going to make an offering in the number of cards you discard. So increasing your end size creates more abilities, more
take advantage of those powers too.
So what you'll do is that if you discard, you have to discard a card of the same color, but only one. The first one needs to be the color of the god you'll be discarding, and the other ones doesn't matter. So if you choose to discard to the blue, and then discard 3 more, the blue says 2 gold for each card you discard. So you go up to 8 if you have 4 cards. The green gives you a resource of your choice for each card. The yellow lets you increase your end size so you can discard more card in the next turn and do bigger combo. This gives you victory points, so it's the same fashion. Right. And the military gives you additional building to refill.
Oh, cool.
As for the temple, there's no abilities, but if you discard a temple, you get to choose which one you trigger. Okay. So it's like a joker quest.
It's a wild, sure.
Exactly. So that's basically what you have to know about this. It's a really fun game.
That looks super cool.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
One of my favorite this year so far.
Cool.
Pretty cool. So that's for Deus. Hi, Mom.